So fountain pens are relics from another age. Incredible writers, smooth, precise. But every once in a while, a fountain pen comes along and I just have to ask, like, what is this? What is it trying to be? Is this something that I've asked for? This is the Writech Clictek, which is very redundant. But it is a retractable nib fountain pen that I bought on impulse. I saw it in my feed on social media. I was just so curious about it. I thought I had to give it a try. And now I've been using it for a couple days, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with you. It clicks, it opens. Can it do anything else? Let's take a look together. When this pen arrived, it came in this very indestructible pod. It was really rather nice. This one is medium and it's in blue, and it didn't have any ink when it came. And for a second, I was wondering what was going on. There was a empty cartridge with it, which, by the way, I love the empty cartridges. I see them as sort of the holy grail because I can fill them up with my syringe with any color I want. But I lifted this and it has some additional ink cartridges, which is handy. Now, one of the interesting things was I put an ink cartridge in this as they suggest, and then I held it like this, clipped to a book for about 5 minutes, and went to write with it. It didn't write. So then I went to a meeting all morning, went back at lunchtime, maybe 3.5 hours later, and it still didn't write, which was a little disappointing. So I did a trick that I often do with pens that are slow starters when you're waiting for that capillary action to take over. I dipped the tip of it in ink. It seems to work. Started to write with it, and it just flowed from there. It was almost as if the two different sides needed to be saturated with ink, but once that happened, it started to flow, which is nice. So this is a retractable nib in a very cylindrical form. The pen body is very plasticky, but it's a $15 pen. So I'm not sure what I'd expect anyway, and I'm not taking points off for that necessarily. You can see the spring in there, and the nib comes out with a little hatch that opens inexplicably sideways, which is an interesting choice. But I guess it's a budget choice, and if you want to keep your price down, I believe full retail price for this is $22. And I got this for around $15. So it sort of goes to the side. And what does that mean? It means that when you write with it, you see the little hatch, like the little submarine hatch, open to the side, which is a little distracting. Yeah, it's a little weird to see it there. But if I'm going to be completely honest, and the one thing I'll have to say about all fountain pens is how do they write? And this one writes amazing. It is very smooth once it got started writing. It doesn't skip. It's pretty lush. It's a nice medium. You can see some of my lines here. No hesitations, no skips. Nice for signing my name. Nice vivid ink. Fantastic flow. The nib reminds me a bit of a Vanishing Points nib, maybe mixed with a Lamy Safari, which once again isn't the worst thing. So let me show you how it would work. Well, I should probably shut it. So once again, it feels very much almost like a ballpoint pen or something. It has a certain disposable feel to it. I don't think this clip is spring loaded. No, that's kind of weird. So the clip is just there. Nope. So you just have to shove whatever you're clipping it to underneath. So open this bad boy up. This is your cartridge. It sticks in there. Nib opens up there. I guess if I push it through, there you have it. And then this assembly has the clicker, and it pushes it out. So this company is out of Irvine, California, and it does kind of have a high-tech feel to it. It is an interesting pen, and I think it does sort of invite more people to the table. It is innovative in the fact that it's a clickable pen with a nib that can retreat inside this submarine fortress of this body and yet be there ready to write quickly with a click. In somewhat of an elegant fashion, it's a bit like the hatch throws open and the nib pops out. It feels a little fragile. It feels a little delicate, but so do most plastic pens to me at this point. If it's not brass based or a really nice resin in a fountain pen with some stiffness, it feels like it has a little bit of give, and it does feel a little precious. In the way these tolerances are, it's not the worst at all. The clip is attached well. I wish it had a spring. The end here is well done. It's not exactly beautiful or stylish really in any way. I'm really struggling to relate it to something. Often I can talk about brutalism or simplified design or something. There's not a lot here for me to really sink my aesthetic teeth into. It's basic, but maybe basic isn't the worst. Maybe basic is okay, especially at $15. And if someone sees this on their feed on Instagram or TikTok or something and they purchase it, maybe it's a nice gateway to the wider world of fountain pens, which is really what my channel is trying to do. So can I criticize this little pen for doing the same? Well, sure, I can, but is that a bit mean-spirited? I don't know. I would say I like how I could carry it around today at work and not worry so much about it. I didn't worry about it drawing unnecessary attention to me. I didn't worry about it if it rolled off my desk or anything else. It has a certain anonymity. It has a certain unassumingness. And it got through my day, and I rather enjoyed it as much as it's sort of wacky. It's just mad to have this hatch on the side, and it's really slightly distracting to be writing and to see it. But I can't argue with the result. This pen writes great. It's not bad. One of the things else I noticed randomly is that it seemed to attract a lot of fuzz at the end. And there's no step down or anything to sort of telegraph to your hand that there's a grip or anything. So you can certainly touch it anywhere. I mean, you're certainly not going to the nib. There's no way your finger is sliding onto the nib. But it feels a little inartful that there's no step down or grip in any way to really signal that you're holding something that's a little bit elevated from an ordinary ballpoint pen or some such. So I really want to try it on some nicer paper. This Clairefontaine paper is really quite nice. I'm always writing with different fountain pens on this, so it'll be a nice way to compare it. So it makes a bit of a crunchy noise. I rather wish it was more definitively clicky. And it's a bit odd to have the trapdoor in the side, but there you have it. You can tell I'm sort of hung up on it. I have to be honest, it's hard to criticize the writing performance. And I really respect it. I respect that you could get it for $15, that it's unique. You just don't see a lot of unique designs. You have to give points for a company that's doing something new. I'm thinking what would compete with this at $15. You certainly have the Pilot Metropolitan, which is a brilliant pen, but it's a rather staid design. This, wholly unique, half mad, but wholly unique. Kind of appreciate it. I do, maybe even begrudgingly. But it's very smooth. and it's original, and I have to give points for original. Now, do I feel wholly engaged and inspired by this pen as if I'm going to write my next incredible poem or novel, or it's going to open me up as a person when I journal? Not so much, but it's unassuming. It gets under your radar. It's just a pen that works well, that writes well, that clicks. It does feel a little precious, so I'll keep that in mind, but sometimes you just want a pen, and it is that. And maybe that's faint praise, but I could certainly give it points for originality. So I would say, do I recommend it? I think I do, but only if you're of a certain type. If you're curious and you want to try something new, something that's wholly original, something that you haven't seen before, it certainly fits in that category. If you just like to try various different pens, if you're a student and you want to try a fountain pen, I think it would be an okay choice. I think something like a Lamy Safari would be better, because I do worry a bit about the build quality. It doesn't feel like one that I would throw into my bag in full confidence without worrying about it cracking or whatnot, because it does feel a bit plasticky, a little bit of rubber at the end. I don't know what the long-term durability of this will be. Haven't had it that long myself. I've only been using it for 2 days. In those 2 days, it's been fantastic. But what would happen if it were compressed? So a student, cautiously, a student that has a protective pen case, perhaps. It's a little noisy. The spring moves around, but that's okay. It's $15. I think if you work in an office and you want a fountain pen there, you don't want to have to worry about it. This is one you could leave in your desk. I think that most people wouldn't give it a second thought. If they opened it up and saw that nib, they might not even try to use it. So I think it's slightly theft proof. I have noticed it doesn't dry up, which is nice. They claim that this little trap door is wholly airtight and sealed, and that's why it has this bit of rubber at the end. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know in using it these past 2 days that it's worked well enough. It hasn't dried out on me. It hasn't disappointed me. And there's a lot to be said for that, because some Grail pens have disappointed me. And this was a $15 pen that is sort of undermining my defenses. I'm kind of enjoying it despite myself. Someone else who would enjoy this pen is someone who is writing a lot of quick notes and needs to maybe sign their name quickly on things, taking notes in class, very quick writing, wants a pen at the ready that they can get to that writing nib quickly without twisting, without putting a pen together like some pens do. Just click and your nib is there with that kind of bizarre, distracting trapdoor. So I can appreciate that. Or perhaps you're an EDC person, you have your whole kit, you want to clip this to it or somehow attach it to your pen case and your journal and all that. You wouldn't cry if you lost it. You could replace it easily, and it's light enough, portable, easy to carry around with you. And if you're just looking for something different, you want to start a conversation, you want a novelty, it's not a bad little pen. It might not be for the purist among us. I haven't heard of this brand until I bought this. It's different. It's not super robust. It might be interesting if they created one made out of aluminium. It would just feel that much more elevated. If they could do that around the $40 price range, that would be something. I don't know what the engineering would require, but that would be impressive. In this very light plastic for $15, I think it's priced well. I'm not sure about $22, but certainly at $15. So the Writech Clictek, I hate the name. There's a lot that I could criticize here. It's very inelegant. It's sort of brutally designed. It's very utilitarian, but it works. But at the fraction of the price of the Pilot Vanishing Point, which is a vastly superior pen. So, do I recommend it? If you have an extra $15, it's not the worst way to spend your money. It's kind of fun. I'm kind of enjoying it, despite myself, despite my cynicism. It's not a bad pen so far, but will it hold up? I'll have to report back. What do you think of this Clictek pen? Is it something you would try? Is it just sort of way out of your frame of reference? I'm trying to challenge myself with more interesting pens at various price points, especially at the entry level. I just find them really interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you watch this video, please subscribe. I'd love to have you on this journey with me. And if you want to help the channel even more, consider becoming a member. For Illuminati and Cognoscenti members, we have a pen pal group, so you could use your Clictek to write a letter to me. That would be brilliant. So I make new videos all the time, and I have a live show as well, so I can promise you we will see each other again very, very soon, further up the road. So thank you so much for watching, and take care.